Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day, but honestly, I am operating on zero sleep right now. I've been up almost all night just staring at the ceiling because my brain will simply not let go of this week's episodes. I just need to get all these thoughts out before I explode, so grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive into this massive mess together. Okay, so I've been thinking about this whole Britt and Rocco situation, and it is literally driving me insane. Like, I cannot stop replaying that scene in the General Hospital chapel. You know the exact one I'm talking about. Where Rocco finally just breaks down and confesses to Britt that he was the one who shot Ross Cullum. Britt's reaction was just, it was everything, but it was also absolutely terrifying. She completely freaks out, shouting at him that if Cullum finds out, they are dead. And I mean, she's not wrong, but seeing Britt, who is usually so composed, or at least pretends to be lose her absolute mind, just shows how incredibly high the stakes are right now. But wait, let me back up. Because to really understand why Britt is reacting like a cornered animal, we have to look at the whole picture. Actually, no, first I should mention Rocco's headspace because that poor kid is going through it. I mean, think about Rocco at the batting cages with Dante. That scene was so loaded with subtext. Dante is standing there being the good dad, but he's also the police commissioner, right? He has that sharp cop intuition. He looks at Rocco and he just knows something is bothering him. He literally says, "You still seem pretty quiet. I think I know why." But Dante doesn't actually know why. He thinks it's just normal teenage angst or maybe stress about his hand infection or Lulu or whatever. But he has absolutely no idea his son is carrying the weight of attempted murder. Or, well, not murder, but shooting a guy in the back. It's weird. Like, really weird. The whole thing is just weird because Rocco is just a kid. And he's standing there lying to his dad's face while his guilt is practically eating him alive from the inside out. I don't know. It just makes me so anxious watching him try to hold it together. And like, why did Rocco even do it? Okay, I know why he did it. We all know why. He saw Britt lying unconscious on Pier 55, and Cullum was standing over Jason Morgan with that retractable baton, literally about to kill him. What was Rocco supposed to do? He grabbed the gun that was on the ground and he fired. He saved their lives. Basically, he's a hero. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. But in Rocco's mind, he crossed a massive moral line. He pulled a trigger on another human being. That is heavy trauma for a teenager. Or maybe not. I don't know. Kids on soaps go through a lot, but Rocco's actually feeling it. The guilt is destroying him because he can't live with the thought that he almost took a human life, even a sadistic life like Cullum's. Wait, what was I saying? All right, Jason. We have to talk about Jason Morgan and all of this. Because my brain keeps going down this rabbit hole of why Jason is taking the fall. Jason is currently locked up in WSB custody, in parts unknown, taking the heat for shooting Cullum. And he's doing it to protect Rocco, which is so classic Jason, right? He's the eternal stoic protector. But it's also so frustrating because Danny is out here missing his dad, getting involved with Sonny's mob business just to try and save him. I think it was episode 12 or 13. Somewhere around there where Danny was talking to Sonny about taking down Sidwell because he thinks Sidwell orchestrated the whole thing. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed Danny's mirroring Jason's old protective instincts, which is a whole other tangent. Anyway, the point is, wait, what was the point? Oh, the point is that Jason is protecting Rocco, but by doing so, he's leaving Britt completely exposed to Cullum's wrath. Okay, wait, let me backtrack to Britt because her situation is actually the most terrifying part of this entire storyline. Britt's worst fear is that Cullum is going to find out Rocco shot him and come after the kid. But Britt is also fighting for her own life right now. The Huntington's disease symptoms are coming back. We know Lucas Jones is trying to reverse engineer her meds after Marco Rios was murdered. But there's a really good chance that at the beginning of the week, the news Lucas brings her is bad. Like really bad news. The kind of news that says we have nothing. Because Cullum is the one controlling the supply of the medication, and Cullum is being so incredibly stringent. He is literally refusing to medicate her at all until she makes real progress on that cold fusion project. Let's talk about that cold fusion project for a second because it is Faison's final project and it is haunting Britt from beyond the grave. Sidwell and Cullum are obsessed with it, and Britt is basically a hostage in her own hospital, forced to complete her evil father's work just to get a single dose of medicine to keep her brain from deteriorating. It's sick. It's so twisted. And what makes it worse is that Cash's Faison, who's still running around pretending to be Nathan West, which is a whole nother mess. Cassie's actually tried to help her, sort of. Cassius found out from Jen Sidwell that there are no doses left. So Cassius goes to Cullum and tells him to order more from his supplier. And what does Cullum do? Nothing. The guy doesn't even respond to the request. He is the double agent partner of Sidwell, and he just does not care if Britt lives or dies as long as he gets what he wants. So Britt is already at her breaking point, right? She's sick, she's terrified, she's being blackmailed. And then she's talking to Brad Cooper. Oh my god, I love seeing Britt and Brad together again. Their friendship is iconic. But they were discussing how they just knew Jason was covering for someone. They could feel it. Jason wouldn't just shoot a WSB director in the back unprovoked and then quietly surrender unless he was protecting someone vulnerable. Britt just didn't know who until the chapel, until Rocco just blurts it out. And you can see the exact moment Britt's heart drops into her stomach because she knows Cullum, she knows how sadistic he is. If Cullum finds out a teenager got the drop on him, his ego alone will demand blood. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but hear me out. What if Cullum already knows or suspects? Because there's this scene in the weekly promo for the week of April 20 that I have watched literally 50 times. Rocco is doing his community service at General Hospital, which, by the way, who thought it was a good idea to let the kid do community service in the same hospital where the guy he shot is recovering? That is just terrible administrative oversight. But anyway, Rocco is assigned as a hospital helper, and a nurse sends him to deliver an extra pillow to Cullum's room. A pillow. It's such an innocuous object, but in this context, it feels like a horror movie. Rocco walks into Cullum's room carrying this pillow, and he looks so incredibly frightened, like a deer in headlights. And the promo shows Cullum's face flashing this look of pure satisfaction. Why is he satisfied? Is he just a creep who likes intimidating kids, or does he recognize Rocco from the pier? I mean, it was dark, and Cullum was focused on Jason. But what if he caught a glimpse of Rocco? What if Cullum specifically requested Rocco to bring him that pillow just to mess with him? It's weird, like really weird. The whole thing is just weird. I am overthinking the pillow, aren't I? But you guys, on soaps, a pillow is never just a pillow. Remember, when folks used to get smothered with pillows in the ICU, I am not saying Cullum is going to smother Rocco, but the power dynamic in that hospital room is suffocating. And Britt sees this. Britt sees Rocco in Cullum's room, and she goes into full panic mode. She realizes that her absolute worst nightmare is playing out right in front of her. Cullum is the sadistic big boss over Sidwell and the Cold Fusion Project. He has unlimited resources, no moral compass, and a massive chip on his shoulder. If he figures out Rocco is the shooter, he won't just kill him, he'll torture him. He'll use Rocco to control Dante or Lulu or Britt. He will weaponize that kid. And Britt knows this. That's why she was screaming in the chapel, "If Cullum finds out that you shot him, we're dead." She included herself in that "we" because she knows she will die trying to protect Rocco if it comes down to it. Wait, let's talk about Britt's protective instincts for a second because this is actually fascinating character development. Years ago, Britt stole Lulu's embryo to have Rocco. She carried that child. She loved him as her own before the truth came out, and he was given back to Lulu and Dante. So Britt has this deep, complicated, almost primal maternal connection to Rocco, even if she isn't his biological or legal mother. When she sees Rocco in danger, it triggers everything in her. She isn't just protecting a random teenager who saved her life. She is protecting her baby. Or the boy she once thought was her baby. It adds this whole other layer of tragedy and desperation to her actions. She will do whatever it takes. She told Lucas she was fed up and wasn't going to finish the prototype. But if Cullum threatens Rocco, she will build that cold fusion reactor with her bare hands in a cave if she has to. But then again, that doesn't explain why Lulu is acting the way she is. Lulu is running around telling Jocelyn to stay away from Britt because Britt is nothing but trouble. And I mean, yes, Britt is surrounded by trouble. But Lulu has absolutely no idea that Britt is literally the only person standing between her son and a sadistic WSB director. The irony is just staggering. Lulu is trying to protect her family from Britt, while Britt is sacrificing her own health and sanity to protect Lulu's son. And Dante is aggressively grilling Lulu about what she's hiding, but neither of them are looking in the right direction. They are completely blind to the fact that Rocco is the center of this entire massive conspiracy. And what about the other secret Britt is holding? My brain is jumping all over the place. But we have to remember that Britt also knows Cullum is the one who stabbed and murdered Marco Rios. Sidwell is out here grieving his son, blaming Sonny Corinthos, tearing the town apart. And Britt knows the real killer is sitting in a hospital bed a few floors down. Britt is holding the secret of who shot Cullum Rocco, and the secret of who killed Marco Cullum. That is an insane amount of pressure for one person to carry. Especially someone whose brain is literally degenerating because she's being denied her medication. I keep thinking about how this week's going to play out. Lucas is going to tell her the reverse engineering failed. Britt is going to feel her Huntington's symptoms getting worse. Her hands might shake. She might lose her balance. And in the middle of this physical deterioration, she has to play 4D chess against a WSB director. She has to walk into Cullum's room where he just sarcastically smiled at her and said, "You're here to beg for your life," and she has to pretend she doesn't know who shot him. She has to look the man who holds the cure to her disease in the eye and lie to protect the boy who shot him. And what if Jocelyn gets involved? Jocelyn is already digging around. She was in the ICU room when Cullum was there. What if Cullum remembers Jocelyn? What if he connects Jocelyn to the WSB and then connects Jocelyn to Rocco? And then the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. I know I am jumping around here, but it's all connected. The web is so tangled. Jocelyn is asking questions about Cesar Faison, which is making Cassius suspicious. Cassius is reporting to Sidwell. Sidwell is mourning Marco Rios and blaming Sonny. Sonny is hiring Ethan Lovett to take down Sidwell. It is a massive powder keg, and Rocco's secret is the match that is going to blow the entire town of Port Charles sky high. I don't see a way out for Britt that doesn't involve someone else getting hurt. If she tells Cullum the truth, Rocco dies. If she doesn't tell Cullum the truth, Cullum withholds the meds and Britt dies. If Jason tells the truth, Rocco goes to prison or worse. The only way out is if someone takes Cullum off the board entirely. Could it be Lucas? Lucas is pretty desperate to make sure Marco's death wasn't in vain. Could it be Dante? If Dante figures out what his son did, he might go rogue to protect him. Dante is a cop, but he's a father first. We've seen Dante bend the rules when it comes to his family. Or maybe, just maybe, Britt takes Cullum out herself. Think about it. She has nothing to lose. If she's going to die from Huntington's anyway, because he won't give her the meds, why not take the bastard down with her? It would be the ultimate redemption arc for the Britch, sacrificing herself to save Jason Rocco and the rest of Port Charles from Sidwell in Cullum's insane cold fusion plot. But I don't want Britt to die. I really don't. I just want her to get her meds and be happy. But this is General Hospital, so happiness is basically illegal. Anyway, I am exhausted, and I am probably overthinking the pillow thing, but I swear there was something in Cullum's eyes. He knows, or he's close to knowing. And Britt is going to have to do something drastic before the week of April 20 is over. I just hope Rocco can keep his mouth shut and stop looking so guilty every time Dante looks at him. Seriously, kid, learn to poker face. Okay, I am going to try to sleep now. But let me know what you guys think, because my brain is officially fried.